Okay, there's this woman named Romana Didulo, I think. She's a cult leader from Canada. She calls herself the Queen of Canada, Her Royal Majesty.
Hello, Canada. I'm Romana Didulo. I'm the founder and leader of Canada First. As of
Oh, she was the founder of the Canada First Party.
February this year, 2021, I am the head of state and commander-in-chief of Canada, the Republic.
When she lost her election, I guess she just straight up snapped. Anyway, I wanted to listen to this documentary about her. This isn't part one. If you didn't see the other, don't sweat it. This stands independently of the rest. I'll give context if it's missing. And while we watch, we're going to play some Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I'll cut any spoilers. I'll blur it or whatever, so you don't have to worry about that.
Back in the town of Richmound, Saskatchewan.
So when did this fence here go up?
It was probably 2 weeks ago.
We met with Mayor Brad Miller, just outside of the fenced-in school property where the group has been staying.
What?
Wait, is this the Richmound thing? I think this... Yeah, this must be the Richmound thing, because I believe that this is the Richmound mayor. The town of 154 currently is what I thought it was, but they're saying 122, so... I'm not really sure exactly how many, but it was a very, very tiny number of people either way.
What's it been like since they've been here?
Like hell, actually. It just, like, when they came here, first off, people were so irate that they just wanted to get...
So irate? I'm sorry, this is a serious subject, but it's so hard to take it seriously when we've got, like, a Canadian saying things in a Canadian way.
Get them out of here in 2 days, and it's still ongoing. As you see, the flag is still up.
Within minutes, we turn around to find a member of Didulo's security team recording us.
What do you think, Fred?
Yeah, that's their intimidation tactic. When they feel intimidated or when they are trying to get something done or do whatever, Romana Didulo's people will record the people around them. It's just that, like, that's just part of the deal. That's how they do it.
Frank, anything you want to talk about? How is it being a security guard for Romano?
You're not saying anything? No.
Why Richmond? Like 110 people, 120. Why us? Like, I didn't need it. Our townspeople.
Really? You wonder why you? I'll tell you why you. Because you're a very small town and it's easy to take... Oh, well, all right, let me rephrase. It's much easier to take over a small town than a big town. That's why you. Because she can much easier outnumber you. She can take over board seats on the city council and whatever other thing she wants to do. She can do that. Much easier in a town of 122... or whatever it is, than in a town of, 10,000 or 50,000 or a million or whatever.
People didn't need it.
Did you know much about them?
No, but when you read about her, I can see why the people wanted action right away. It's terrifying, whatever, and the unknown.
Oh, absolutely.
Is terrifying, actually.
Terrifying because of things like this. Letters emailed to Mayor Miller and other Richmond officials threatening their publicly broadcast executions and devastation upon children, grandchildren, and families.
Yeah, she threatened their lives, said that she was going to kill them if they didn't, do what she said, basically, or if they didn't do this or that. I don't even remember now. Let's see. Publicly broadcast executions, maybe they'll read the letters to us. At some point, I read the whole letter. I just don't remember what it was. Or she wrote multiple.
Like, I would be dumb not to say that it doesn't affect myself and my wife. Like, we keep the drapes closed now, and our
Can't blame him.
doors are always locked, double-checked. And, like, I don't want to die sort of thing. It sounds funny what I'm saying now, whatever, but...
No, it doesn't. It doesn't sound funny, and it doesn't sound, hyperbolic either. This is real. I'm glad this dude's taking this seriously. This is some real shit right now.
I would take one for the team if they came and broke the law. I'd be the first one to protect our town, whatever.
Because then that would get rid of them.
They would go to jail and her reign would be done, yes. That's
pretty extreme.
Yes, it is, yes.
Have you had any encounters with the group?
No, they won't talk to me. They just sit and videotape and Romana won't talk to me at all. She says she's the leader or the queen, and she sits behind a closed door and doesn't talk to another leader or another mayor or a council. I think that's chicken.
That's funny. I like it. I think that's chicken shit.
Didulo was first invited to town by this man, Rick Mans,
from Richmound,
seen here in an interview on the Fake Queen's nightly live stream.
I guess this is the guy that offered the school. Is that right?
And I invited Queen Romana and team to come to Richmound.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess this is the dude that gave the school over. Okay.
I mentioned we have a beautiful little town, friendly, and I also said that, you know, my building isn't the Holiday Inn, but it's mine.
His building, this abandoned elementary school, was originally purchased by Mans to house a cannabis grow-up. The venture failed to launch, so when Didulo and her
Wait, I'm sorry. Let me step back. Listen one more time here.
a cannabis grow-up, the venture
Hold on. By the way, getting messages here. Most of the alien pictures she uses are from movies. Yeah, I noticed that too. A lot of this stuff is just fake, but she pretends to be an Arcturian, and who would know? Of course she would, right? It is such a joke.
school was originally purchased by Mans to house a cannabis grow-up.
It was originally purchased to host a cannabis grow up, like a grow. Did she mean a grow op, like a grow operation? Was this dude trying to grow weed? Is that what she's saying?
The venture failed to launch, so when Didulo and her group were looking for a place to stay, he reached out. Mans has had some brushes with the law. He was charged with assault last October, and then for not appearing in court. But he's now in a
Ooh, that's a bad idea. Yeah, it gets bad for you if you don't appear. Just appear in court. Just do it. Okay, it's better that way.
deemed member of the group, referred to as His Excellency.
Then I have some questions for you, Your Excellency.
Wow, Your Excellency. Imagine having a title like that.
Mans and a small group of Richmound residents are Didulo supporters, but they also have a history of conflict with the mayor and town council. Mayor Miller says years of small town squabbles snowballed into the current standoff.
You betcha. So this set in motion, I think, all the stuff that is happening now.
There are rumors that Didulo or her supporters could even run for town council.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, I'm sure that's why they picked the place, because it would be like a lot easier to win elections there.
Does it worry you in a real way, or is it, you think, too unlikely to happen?
No, it worries
Oh, no, it's likely to happen without a doubt. I would be very worried about it personally.
me. I'm the type that you got to be prepared for stuff like that.
Yeah.
Miller and his council are trying to find creative ways to get Didulo and her kingdom out of town.
I thought that they'd already left.
We're looking at bylaws now and just trying to outsmart them and outthink them. Put the pressure on. Somebody's got to help us out. We're running out of ideas.
The RCMP have told Richmound residents that they're keeping an eye on the group and investigating the death threats, but they can't lay charges or remove the group from private property until there's harassment or imminent threat.
I'm just like, until there's harassment or imminent threat. Well, was that not imminent threat? Here's the thing. There's something called stochastic terrorism. My followers probably already know exactly what stochastic terrorism is. But stochastic in mathematics basically means unpredictable. It means stochastic terrorism is something that you don't know when or where it's going to happen exactly or how, but it's going to happen. And it can be predicted that it's going to take place. Like a lone wolf attack is going to take place. And you don't know when or why or how, but it will. And you're sure of it. Donald Trump tries to encourage his people to do absolutely psychotic things without actually saying those psychotic things. He'll just say, boy, wouldn't it be fantastic if blah, blah, blah? Wouldn't it be fantastic if this person was gone? Or, boy, we really need Nancy Pelosi taken care of, or something to that effect. That's stochastic terrorism. A lone wolf attack is guaranteed to happen. When? Don't know. Where? Not sure. Who's going to enact this stochastic terrorist event? No idea. But it's nearly guaranteed to happen. Good example is Dr. Tiller, who's an abortion doctor, back in the 90s, 1990s maybe? And Bill O'Reilly called him Tiller the baby killer. He was just doing his job as an abortion doctor. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Abortion is a right. We had a right to abortions. He wasn't doing anything illegal or whatever. But he had been shot and stabbed, I think, at some point. Tiller had. It was bad. It was really bad. Until one day, Tiller was walking out of his church, I think. You're going to want to read about this yourself, just to be sure I get it right. He's walking out of his church. Somebody walks up to him and yells at him and points a gun and pulls the trigger. Just like that. Because people were worked into a blood frenzy over this guy. Because people were told that he's Tiller the baby killer. If you believe that there is like a baby killer on the loose that needs to be like stopped, a rational person will go to any lengths to protect a child. If you believe that there's somebody that's going around and in the middle of the night finding children in their cribs and murdering them, a rational person will do whatever it takes to stop that from happening. But we're not dealing with rational people here. And additionally, we're not dealing with that at all. That's not what's happening. That's never been what's happening. That's not what abortion is. It's easy to twist this Dr. Tiller thing. It's easy to twist abortion into something that it's not. Dude, was I just climbing that and then the Chocobo just veered off track because it didn't want me to land there or something? Like, what the hell just happened?
What do you hope for?
Well, I hope for her to move, and then I hope that Saskatchewan would take her reign down. I will never give up till she's done, out of town, whatever.
But others already admit defeat.
The biggest mistake I made was thinking that this was all a joke and all an online fantasy. It's too late for my dad. We're never...
Yeah, sadly, it probably is. It's too late for my mom. Not easy to deal with, not fun, not easy to accept. But sometimes it's too late, you know? It's too late.
Going to be able to convince him that this isn't real, but maybe other people, other families, it's not too late for their family member. This is just the way it is. I can't save him from this. And I broke down and I started crying and I said, Dad, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry that this is happening to you. I'm so sorry, and I can't help you. I don't know what to do.
That's rough, man. That's rough. You got to feel for her. Like I said, I felt very deeply for my mom. She did a lot for me. But she's gone. She's gone. She's gone forever. I will never get my mom back, who my mom really was. I'll never have her back. It's over. That's just what it is, you know?
Coming up.
Hi, everybody!
Yeah, all right, we're going to skip forward.
On a cold winter night in late 2023, a group of southern Saskatchewan residents gathered to talk with W5.
I'm Morella. Great to meet you guys. We want to talk just about what's been going on in the community.
We're in Richmound, population 120. There's a strong turnout here, about 80 people. Sitting by himself right at the front, resident Rick Mance, who invited the fake queen to...
Wow, he looks like he's aged like a lot in the past since I saw him on film just a few minutes ago. Jeez, how far apart were those two videos? I didn't think they were that far apart.
Town.
How many of you in this town have been, I'm going to say, genuinely frightened about what's been going on in the last 2 months? Just a show of hands.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you. Speaker after speaker steps up to the mic to share concerns, including Roland Davis.
You asked if we're afraid. We're all afraid. Everyone, every person in this room is afraid because of the unknown actions that the group may take or may not take. Are there death threats? There's several out there. Lots of them. Probably 25 people, I think, on the list.
There are lots of people that don't like what's
Dude, there's a list. There's a death threat list, apparently. How disturbing is that shit?
going on but are too afraid to say anything.
Shauna, a former school teacher.
Lots of them. Probably 25 people, I think, on the list.
There are lots of people that don't like what's going on but are too afraid to say anything.
Shauna, former school teacher, received 2 threatening letters.
I'm very concerned that there are so many people in our country who are gullible enough, or, I mean, I have to say, stupid enough to...
It's not like that. It's not like that. The most intelligent people in the world are the most capable of convincing themselves of the most ridiculous things, coming up with the most creative, ridiculous explanations. You know, a lot of cult members are very, very intelligent, but they can't find their way out of this. They feel they need this for one reason or another. And it's just sad.
To think that this is actually real, that this person makes claim to being the leader of our country, our whole world, and the ridiculous promises that she makes, and that if enough people e-transfer money to her, that she will provide many, many, many things. She's not going to give anybody anything except trouble.
Absolutely. What did she give them? She gave them, well, she claimed that they didn't have to pay their bills anymore. And when they stopped paying their bills, what happened? Of course, they lost everything. Anybody surprised by that one? Really? I mean, it's just so sad how she takes advantage of people flagrantly the way that she does. It's just sad.
Town Administrator Barbie Cook also got a warning letter.
It is very traumatizing to receive that. That is
No, I'd say so.
not normal. I don't know whose life, who has a life where it's normal to receive an email with a death threat.
I grew up in this town.
Some of the speakers, like this woman, have lived in Richmound all their lives.
I've had to see my family, their mental health go down the frickin' drain because they don't want to leave their farm or their property to go do stuff with their kids because they have to look over their shoulder. It changes their whole life.
Yeah, it's scary stuff, for real.
Residents say Didulo's followers are constantly recording them. Brittany is concerned about her children.
Recording is the intimidation technique used by a lot of cults, a lot of high control groups, for lack of a better term. They'll record the people who they feel threatened by so that the person feels threatened in return. Once they don't feel threatened anymore, they won't feel like recording anymore. That's kind of how it works. That's the idea. It's just sad.
Your little kids come home and ask, why are they videoing us? Why is there a fence around? Like, how do you answer those questions to little kids? Like, it's not something you move into.
You say it honestly. You explain honestly. You don't sugarcoat it. You tell them what's going on, in my opinion. You need to tell kids what's up, because if you don't, that kid could be next in line to fall for it. Or that could be, that kid could be susceptible to danger, like to a dangerous situation. The kid needs to be told what's going on, honestly. That's how I see it. I don't know. Tell me what you think in the comments.
To these communities to feel safe. And our kids don't feel safe. I don't feel safe.
I have 4 young children in this town, and there's been a lot of changes that have been made. One of my child is 13. She would go for bike rides every night.
Can't do that anymore, can you? You just don't feel safe. not only is this like a weird cult, but not just like a high control religion, or a high control group. Doesn't have to be a religion, but it's a violent one. They're extremely violent. They believe in the death penalty for their enemies and things. It's insane. Like they take it a step past just, wow, they're crazy. And they take it into, I'm going to kill you if you do this or that, or you don't do this or that, or whatever. It's scary, man, for real. Scary.
Take your time.
Your kids are supposed to have freedoms.
Your sense of safety is gone.
It's gone.
Not everyone here is on the same side.
You're not getting the whole story.
Dude, are you kidding me?
Some of these people have threatened their neighbors. Yes, you have. And it's not pretty.
Dude, what the hell is happening What? Some of these people have threatened their neighbors. What? What is going on? And what is this thing I'm looking at right now? I don't understand. Can I do something with it? Can I touch it? I want to touch it. Can I touch it? I don't seem to be able to touch it. I would love to touch it. Okay.
People get hurt, and people are getting hurt here on both sides. No, I'm not.
But
so
if
off.
I can...
Off.
Wow, man. This is just disgusting and shameless and sad.
Sick and tired of listening to you.
People like you supporting idiot there.
You know what? It's about time you learned that there's two sides to everything, and that's the community as well.
Yeah, Romana Didulo, yeah, she's part of the community, but she's absolutely psychotic. She's looking for an opportunity to take control of the area. Seriously. Like, how do these people justify these positions, these beliefs and ideals? Like, what?
Many in town blame Rick Mans for what's going on.
My name is Mayor, and I want them gone, including him, the leader of the pack, or sorry, His Excellency for brains.
Wow, dude, that's not helpful at all.
I know a lot of you have, or some of you at least, have directed your comments to Rick. So I do want to ask Rick if he has anything he wants to say or respond to today.
Hail the Queen.
No. Oh. So he does not want to respond.
Hail the Queen.
I just want the
How are you? W5 did discreetly approach Mans outside of that town hall to hear his side of the story.
Some of the residents have some concerns. I thought maybe you could speak as well.
Really nothing to say. This is my private property. Why do I have to explain who's on my property? Because
that's true. Yeah, it's his private property. He doesn't have to explain anything. I absolutely agree with that. Except this is a cult. I'm sorry, man. This extremist group needs to chill the fuck out and stop being nutcases. They need to learn to cooperate and work with people in their community. That's just what it is. These people have a right to, as the United Nations, what is it? The UN Declaration of Human Rights, as it would say, these people have a right to life, liberty, and the feeling of safety or something like that. The U.S. Constitution says life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The point is, people have a right to live their lives without having it, stamped out or attacked or living in fear because of somebody else, because of what someone else is doing. Your right to swing your fist ends at the tip of my nose. You can swing your fist anywhere you want except for right here, because then it's a violation of my rights, not you exercising yours. That's the difference. What these people are doing, Romana Didulo and her little cult, they are swinging their fist at people's noses and saying, I have a right to do whatever I want.
somebody doesn't know them or doesn't like them.
We tried to speak with Didulo's other followers. We wanted to know what would make them walk away from their own lives to be here. They wouldn't speak to us.
Yeah, no surprise there.
W5 did track down Kim Churchill, who is a former follower.
I would love to know how to get to this tower, Activation Intel 6, World Intel, Ancient Capital Tower. How the hell do I get to that?
W5 did track down Kim Churchill, who is a former follower.
I had
A former follower.
went shopping, and I just bought them some food.
You were really into supporting them.
I really thought it was the change that we were going to see.
Churchill started as an online follower and met Didulo for the first time at the Freedom Trucker Convoy in Ottawa.
I'm like, oh, I got to meet this one, right? I got to see what she's all about. And
Turns out she's all about being a nutcase. Who knew?
she's got an entourage, and then there's so many Canadians that came across the country to be there with her. So she was really lining up with everyone that was an activist or protesting the mandates and the injection.
Okay, I don't know about Canada. I can't speak to it, but I hear mandates constantly from like Trump nutcases. There were no vaccine mandates. Nobody was mandated to get vaccinated. There were people who were mandated to get tested at least once a week, and in some cases once a day. And you could be exempted from that testing mandate by getting vaccinated. But these people want it to be, no, there were mandates. No, vaccine mandates, protesting the mandates, mandate. It's just like, guys, get over yourselves, for real. Please. It's so sad.
So when you heard what Romana was talking about, because of your stance during COVID, it aligned.
Yes, absolutely. She invited us to go into her RV and have coffee with her to chat. She seemed very soft and feminine and maternal.
Is she charismatic?
Yeah.
No, I would say she'd have to be. Yeah, she'd have to be charismatic to be a cult leader effectively. Even to be like a social media influencer to any degree, I think she would probably have to be charismatic. I'm a social media influencer, and I don't personally believe that I am charismatic in person. I don't know. I don't think I'm charismatic at all, truthfully, but I must be to some degree to be like a social media influencer, right? Seems like. I don't know. You guys let me know if you think I'm charismatic.
Does Romana believe what she's putting out there, that she's an alien, for example?
I think
she totally believes all of it, in my opinion. Oh, yes.
she is convinced. And I find that stuff entertaining, I guess, you know.
But believable?
I don't know. I thought she was an elevated being.
Yeah, so she thought she's an Arcturian.
So to me, she had a plan. She had kahunas. So I was like, okay, I'll join that bandwagon, see, you know.
Some pretty personal questions.
Yeah.
To join the bandwagon, Didulo's people interviewed her, sending messages like this.
So in this one we're looking at, it says, are you willing to not shower regularly, work shifts at night, work 24/7, not do laundry for weeks at a time?
Like what? Why?
Yeah, well, that's my life pretty much anyway, so.
You were
used
to that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ready to do whatever they needed, Churchill packed up her belongings in early 2023 and crossed the country in her RV to live with Didulo and her inner circle.
Dude, I am loving how they're pronouncing her name. Didulo. Didulo. Big fan. Didulo.
You thought this was going to be a life commitment.
Yeah. I thought this is it. You know, we're going to transition this country and we're going to be under natural law. No more slavery, no more taxation.
Robert Adset says larger indoor gatherings are restricted to those who are vaccinated. I hear what you're saying there. Except not really. Larger indoor gatherings, sure, yes. Indoor gatherings. They were restricted to people who were vaccinated, but gatherings, larger gatherings were perfectly allowed. People were allowed to gather to their heart's content, first of all. They just had to do it outside, or they had to be vaccinated, or they had to space the chairs out 6 feet, or they had to check temperatures at the door. I mean, there were a billion different possible options that people could take if they wanted to gather. They didn't have to, like, you know, there were no mandates where you're not allowed to do this or that anymore. And the people who are, like, obsessive with the idea that there were mandates and they were just out to get us and they're trying to trick us and it's just absurd, man.
It's all golden.
Again, I don't know what happened in Canada. Maybe Canada had mandates. I have no clue. But the United States, no.
We're going to transition this country and we're going to be under natural law.
Did you just say transition? Don't use that word in my presence.
No more slavery, no more taxation.
Because you see, taxation is slavery. You understand. Oh my God, dude, these people.
It's all golden, right?
Until it wasn't.
It was actually the polar opposite of what I thought it would be. It was completely dysfunctional.
Churchill lived with 7 others, including Didulo. They all packed into 2 RVs and a small bus.
Wow, she lived with Didulo herself. Romana Didulo.
Hi, everybody! Churchill, hired to do security, soon became the cook. She says most of the team worked on the group's webpage and live stream. At one point, Churchill even co-hosted the QRTV nightly news.
So, Kim, how are you doing
Wow, they had nightly news.
today? Awesome.
The night.
Well, I assume they still have nightly news. I assume that this is something that's like ongoing, right? I couldn't find it though, truthfully. Like I've looked all over for some of their, you know, their stuff, their nightly news or whatever, and I've had trouble finding it. I mean, on their Telegram, they have a bunch of interesting stuff that you can look at, but I have no idea where I would find their quote unquote nightly news.
News updates came with pleas for donations.
Any donations or contributions to this effort is greatly appreciated.
Of course.
Mostly it was admin work, right? So admin work is to keep their grift going on Telegram.
You call it a grift?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's all about the computer, right? Because that's where the money is. It's a digital fantasy. She's a content creator, and she's brilliant at it.
I think she's a true believer. Truthfully, I really do. I think she's a true believer. I don't believe for a second that she sees this as a grift.
Soon enough, Churchill started to have questions.
I sent them $3,000 to help them with winter accommodations. After the fundraising, Romana said, we're ending the fundraiser, but we're going to take a rain check. And then
We're going to take a rain check. I'm not sure what that means.
I was like, well then, I want my money back.
What did she mean by she was going to take a rain check?
She wasn't going to use the money for winter accommodations.
What happened to your $3,000?
She pocketed it.
God, that's a lot of money. Well, I'm sure she used it for something. I don't know what she used it for exactly, but that is so much money, dude. $3,000? Are you kidding me? Think about what you could do with $3,000 right now in your life if you had $3,000. Just think about what you could do with that kind of money in your pocket. Holy Christ on a cracker. That is nuts. I don't believe it's a grift. That woman seems to believe that it's a scam. No, I think she really believes it. I mean, I think she is scamming people out of their money, but I think she believes it.
Concerns about the way some followers were being treated.
We were in the car one time, and it was at night, and she said to Kevin, pull over. There's a car behind us. So Kevin pulled over, and I thought, oh my God, like there's nowhere to pull over, right? She said to me, if Kevin didn't pull over when I told him to, he would have been shot. And I'm like, whoa, that's pretty serious.
Were there other?
Does she have a gun is my real question. Does she have a gun? Because if she does, she shouldn't. They should revoke her ability to own one. The Canadian government should, in my opinion. She has actually told people, it's time. It's time. Get out there and start shooting people. She has said that before in a post recently. relatively recently, depending on when you're watching this. And people just posted pictures of their guns. Nobody really wants to get out there and do that. Nobody is really interested in it. But, you know, one of these times she's going to get them revved up enough that they will.
Are there threats of violence?
She talked about treason. Anyone that spoke badly about her in the media would be hung, charged with treason and hung and executed. And
could she be abusive?
She is abusive, psychologically abusive, emotionally abusive.
Yeah. I believe that cults, by definition, are an abusive relationship between the adherent and the believer. But is it beyond that is the question, I think, really. Like, we all want to know, is it a step further?
Like, there's no love there.
Did it feel like a cult to you?
I didn't
It absolutely is.
recognize it as a cult until I got back. Because I was like, when I finally left, I'm like, what the heck? What did I just go through? What is this? When you're in an abusive relationship, you know, they want you isolated. They don't want you talking to friends and family. They control your every move, manipulate you. Like,
Yep, absolutely.
it's all that. You know, if she wasn't the focal point, she was not happy.
Only 10 days in, Churchill had seen enough.
I said to the group before I go, like, there's no love here, and I am not going to be in the presence of, or the absence of love. If this is how she treats you guys, can you imagine if she was really leading Canada? People that still...
Oh my God, it would be disturbing. Like, half of the people in Canada would be in prison or dead. Seriously, one half, I would guess. At least one half. Like, really disturbing shit, seriously. Like, how they, you know, how she frames things up, Didulo, how she views the world, it's all disturbing shit, really.
still believe in Romana. They have family members who are concerned about them. So I would just say, just be patient, because she's going to be stopped very soon. That's my goal. She needs to stop.
Up next, we are here.
Okay, they were doing an up next thing. All right, awesome. Well, anyway, it's just like the whole thing is disturbing as hell. Seriously. Like, I don't know how else to say it. It's horrifying that this exists and that this is happening in this little town. I didn't know this is still happening in the town. I thought they ran them out. Disturbing stuff. Got to feel for these people. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. Really sad.